Welcome to Nursing 3330 Health Assessment. I'm Mary Beth Coughlin, your instructor for this course. This is the orientation to the course PowerPoint that I will post for Nursing 3330 B section in case class will not be held tonight. So this is, I'm going to present to you in this video what I would be doing if we had class tonight. So what I'm going to go over are the course expectations. You may want to have your syllabus out so you can refer to that. I'm just going to briefly go over the syllabus, the assignments, and class schedule. Talk a little bit about e-learning. The textbook author is Jarvis, and I want to talk about the online resources for Jarvis. I will talk a little bit about Shadow Health, and then we won't be doing the group activity, but I will post that for you to do on your own. When you take a course online, you have to be present in the online environment. So attendance gets taken every week. And the way that I know that you're attending class is when I see that you're participating online. So if you don't log on or participate or pass in any of your assignments for that week, then you'll be marked as absent. The expectation is that you are participating every week. Assignments will be posted under coursework on the course shell, and there will be due dates and times. So make sure that you get your assignments in on time. I plan to have your assignments due by midnight Wednesday, since this is our course day, which means midnight is the beginning of Wednesday, so it's really like Tuesday night. So you really have to finish your assignments Tuesday night so that they can be posted by 12 a.m. And the reason that I do that is because I am teaching 3 courses. So Wednesday is the day that I'm devoted to this course. So if your assignments are in by midnight, then I can grade them on Wednesday before 4 o'clock when your new assignments will be posted. And from the student perspective, we know from research that's done and from what students have told us that receiving timely feedback from your faculty is important to you. So in order for me to be able to do that, I need assignments to come in on time so that I can get them turned around back to you on time. Having said that, I know that you are all adults and you're busy and you're working and you may have families and things like that. And I know that sometimes things come up. So if you are faced with a difficult situation and you feel it's impossible for you to get your assignment in on time, you can just send me an email explaining what's going on, and you can pass your assignment in late. These should be rare occurrences, and only when there really is no other option, because for online learning, it's best if both you and I stick to the structure that's set up for us so that we can make sure we get everything done on time. Because when you don't have a class to show up for every week, sometimes you can get lulled into a false sense that you don't have to be doing things. And so I have found personally for myself that if I have to stick to a really structured schedule, I do much better, and hopefully that works for you as well. Students are expected to read the assigned chapters and the assigned articles. So you have a textbook, and the textbook is designed to give you a really solid background on each topic each week. So, there's a lot of time and energy that gets put into publishing a textbook. There's a fair amount of time and energy on the part of the faculty to choosing a textbook for you. And so when we assign chapters, we feel it's important for you to read those. So we strongly encourage you to do the reading. I generally go to the literature to find recent and pertinent journal articles to supplement the textbook reading. So if I post an article for you to read, I've spent a fair amount of time locating something that I feel is of good learning experience for you and something I feel is important for you to read. So if there's an article posted, the expectation is that you read that as well. Sometimes you'll have assignments that have to do with posting answers to discussion questions on the forum. And if that's the case, then you are expected to reference the book chapter and the article in your discussion post using APA format. So if you have any questions about how to do that, you should send me an email. I can certainly post some APA guidelines on the course shell for you, and I will definitely get to that. But any discussion post that you do should not be an opinion piece. I'm not asking you what you think. I'm asking you what you've learned from doing the reading. So when you post on discussion board, you should be referring to content in the assigned reading and citing that in your discussion post. One of the ways that we can keep the lines of communication open between students and faculty is through email. So I strongly encourage you to email me with any questions or concerns. The expectation that I've set for myself is that I will respond to your emails within 24 hours. A lot of times you'll hear from me a lot quicker than that, because if I'm online and I see an email come in, sometimes I just answer you right away. But I'm not always at the computer at the time your email comes in. So I think a reasonable guideline is to let you know that you will hear back from me within 24 hours. That's for Monday through Friday. Friday emails, I will reply to you by Monday. Again, you may hear from me sooner, but that's the time frame that faculty feel is reasonable for replying to student emails. So how to approach the coursework for this course each week. Some of you have probably already taken a course in the program. Maybe some of you haven't. This may be your first experience with an online or hybrid course. Maybe it's not. But right now you may be used to a different approach from other faculty members, or maybe you don't have any experience to know how to approach the course. So what I wanted to do is give you a suggestion of how I think you should approach the coursework for this course in order to be successful in the course. And these are the steps that I think you should follow each week for the course content. The first thing I think you should do is to read the assigned chapter in Jarvis. So every week you're going to have a chapter assigned in Jarvis, and some weeks you may have more than one chapter. You should pretty much read through the chapter. You don't have to read absolutely every single word, but you should definitely have a pretty good handle on what the chapter is about through your reading. The book that we use is used for nursing programs and also for nurse practitioner programs. So there are some parts of the chapter that talk about advanced assessment. You do not need to read those sections. So if you see a point in the chapter where it mentions advanced assessment, you can skip that. The next thing I recommend you do for your coursework each week is, after you read the chapter, I feel that you should go to the textbook website. And this is the link to get to the textbook website. Now you need to register as a student on this website. And when you get to that website, you'll see that the textbook is separated by chapters, and under each chapter there's a section called Student Resources. You click in the Student Resources section, and within that there's lots of different documents for you to utilize to help you with your learning for that chapter. Sometimes there's a video that you should watch, because the video is actually of a clinician doing a physical assessment on that patient. And you can see how that's done. Sometimes there's quizzes that you can take so you can see how well you retain the information from your reading. There are uh, exam notes that you can download to see which parts of what the parts of the physical assessment are that you should be completing. And I recommend that that is a good thing for you to refer to when you go onto the Shadow Health website to complete the module for that week. It's a good guideline for you to go by while you're interviewing the avatar patient and also while you're completing the physical assessment of the avatar patient. My intent is this is something new that I've set as a goal for myself for this semester of teaching online, is to post PowerPoints for you like this one where I am talking over the PowerPoint in place of a lecture. Because you aren't coming to class every week, we still want you to have the feeling that you are being taught something by your faculty member every week. So I will post every week something like this where I talk over the PowerPoint just to share with you any pearls of wisdom that I know from my experience or key things that I think you should be focusing on in your preparation. And then the last thing I think you should do for your coursework each week is to go to the Shadow Health website and complete the assigned module. When you go to Shadow Health, you will see that our course is set up by weeks, and I have assigned the modules that I want you to do. I put them in the order that I want you to do them. I've edited those assignments in response to some of the feedback I got from students who used the product last semester, and I deleted things that the students felt were repetitious and didn't contribute to their learning. So I definitely adjusted the Shadow Health modules based on feedback I got from the students that I felt made sense. So hopefully you will even get a better experience using Shadow Health modules this semester than the students did last semester. And the last semester, the feedback was generally positive, that they really liked using Shadow Health to help them learn health assessment. Just so you can see how you're going to be graded in this course, there's basically 4 types of grading criteria. Any online participation assignments that include discussion board or reading and doing an activity or anything that I assign will be listed as an online participation assignment, and all of those throughout the semester will, whatever you achieve for those assignments will be 30% of your final grade. Another 30% of your final grade is how you do on the weekly Shadow Health assignments. So there is a section in Gradebook that is all Shadow Health. You'll notice when you go on the Shadow Health website, each of the modules has a rubric file posted. So you should download that rubric so that you can see how you're going to be graded for that module. If you look at the rubric before you do the module, you know how well you have to do in order to achieve the points. And then when I grade your module, I use that rubric, and then I put however many points you achieved will go into Gradebook. And at the end of the semester, all of those modules added up will be 30% of your final grade. The other 30% of your final grade really involves three lab competencies. So we meet in the lab 3 times this semester, and based on how you perform in the lab, you will get a grade for that. You will earn points for your performance in the lab session, and that includes the class on February 24th, the class on March 24th, and then the final class on April 14th. So those 3 lab sessions the points you earn in those 3 lab sessions will contribute to 30% of your final grade. The last 10% of your grade comes from the online Shadow Health comprehensive final exam. And we can talk more about that, and that's due the very last week of the course. So that's how your work this semester gets figured into your final grade. This is the class schedule. This should look familiar to you from the last page of the syllabus. This is how the content is set up to be taught to you over the course of the semester. When you go to the e-learning website, you'll see that under each week you have assigned chapters of the textbook, and then any assignments that you have to complete are listed under coursework. So this schedule is just to give you the topics for each week, but the assignments are listed under coursework. So you have to go to coursework every week to see what your assignment is. And often coursework is where you will post any assignments that you have to post something for, or you'll be directed to the collaboration section of the course shell for a forum discussion where you'll have to post right in there. And anytime there is a discussion, it's preferable that you document right in the box and do not add an attachment. If you want to practice your discussion and do it on a Word document just so you get it right before you post it, that's fine, but I prefer that you then copy and paste it into the window and not add it as an attachment. It's just easier for me to see all the posts as soon as I open them and not have to download an attachment. And sometimes the attachments, there's been times where I couldn't open a student's attachment. It just takes longer to get through that process. So I prefer you post right in the box on the forum discussion. Here's just a screenshot of the first couple of weeks of e-learning on the e-learning website, and you can see that this is where assignments are posted. If I assigned the journal article as I did in week 1, then you click on that blue underlined title where it says assigned journal article, and you'll see the file, and then you just click on the file and you can read the article. You can download it and print it if you want, or you can just read it online. Under week 2, you'll see that I posted a PowerPoint lecture for you for next week. This is a snapshot of the Jarvis Physical Exam and Health Assessment textbook website. And you can see on the left is course content. If you scroll down, it's listed by chapter, and then under the chapter it lists student resources. You click in there and that's where all your resources are. So I strongly recommend that you take advantage of that because it will really help you in gaining knowledge on the content. Shadow Health is the virtual clinical environment that we're using this semester to help you learn physical assessment, health assessment in an online setting. So certainly when you're learning how to assess a patient, it would make sense to be doing it hands-on, but in an online or hybrid environment, it's harder to do that. So Shadow Health actually provides the opportunity for you to practice your skills on an avatar patient. And it's a really cool product. Like I said, the students liked it last semester, and they, enjoyed working with it. They had some concerns, which I, strongly encouraged them to report to me in their evaluations. And based on their feedback, I made some changes to it to hopefully get rid of some of the stuff they felt was kind of monotonous and repetitive, and really just hone in on the parts of Shadow Health that they found useful, that really helped with their learning. So I did do that for this semester, and hopefully that'll provide a better experience for you. You definitely need to do the orientation module on Shadow Health. This gets you comfortable with how to use the product. And then the first module, which was due for today's class, is the conversation module. And that is really something that focuses on when to use open-ended and when to use closed-ended questions when you're interviewing a patient. So you'll have to complete those if you haven't done them already. And then the next module that's due for next week is the health history module. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. At this point, last evening, I put the students into groups and they did a little bit of an activity, which sort of went along with the first chapter that was assigned to you, which was chapter 3 on how to do an interview. Now, I know most of you are working nurses, and you certainly are familiar with interviewing patients. But sometimes there's still stuff that we can learn, even if we think we know everything. So I do recommend that you read the chapter and look through the student resources for chapter 3. And I will post the activity that you can do on your own or with some classmates if you have the opportunity to get together with your classmates. And then for next week, you have to do the health history module. So I have posted a PowerPoint on that, and I recommend that you review that as well. So if you go back to the slide that I talked about earlier, which is how to approach coursework each week, if you really follow these steps, I think that you'll find that you can be very successful this semester. And if you ever have any difficulties using Shadow Health, you should let me know. You should feel free to email me about any questions or concerns that you have. I apologize again for having to cancel class tonight, but I'm sitting in a freezing cold house while I'm waiting for my oil company to come and see if they can fix my furnace. So things just kind of happen at a bad time sometimes. So anyway, I will get back to you about whether I hold a makeup class next week. I'll probably see how many of you could attend, but I at least wanted to provide you with an overview of what we would have done tonight if we got together. And as I add things to the course shell, I will keep you updated. So good luck, and I look forward to being in touch with you online. Have a great day.